When? It's a-comin', sir, but I'm not a-sayin' when. Only keep a still tongue in your head, or they'll put a pill between your ribs. And the fellow went on polishing. You should warn the captain at once, John. Possibly the trouble may yet be averted, Lady Alice said. You do not understand, dear, replied Clayton. The captain has brought this condition upon himself, so why should I risk subjecting my wife to unthinkable horrors to save him from his own brutal folly? Duty is duty, my husband, and no amount of sophistries may change it. Have it as you will, then, Alice. If I am going to warn him, I might as well get the beastly job over, for I have little stomach to talk with the brute at all. So saying, he strolled in the direction through which the captain had passed, and knocked at his door. I have come to report a conversation I heard today. Well, there may be nothing to it. It is as well that you be forearmed. In short, the men contemplate mutiny and murder. It's a lie, roared the captain. And if you have been interfering again with the disciplines of this ship, or meddling in affairs that don't concern you, you shall take the consequences and be damned. Lord Greystoke never turned a hair, but stood eyeing the man with level gaze. Captain Billings, he drawled, if you will pardon my candour, I might remark that you are something of an ass. Whereupon he turned and left the captain. Well, Alice, said Clayton as he rejoined his wife, if I had saved my breath, I should likewise have saved myself a bit of a calling. The fellow proved most ungrateful, fairly jumped at me like a mad dog. Until we are safe off this ship, I shall spend my energies in looking after our own welfare, and I rather fancy the first step should be to go to our cabin and look over my revolvers. They found their quarters in a state of disorder. A thorough search revealed that nothing had been taken but Clayton's 2 revolvers, and the small supply of ammunition he had saved out for them. As they fell to straightening up their cabin, Clayton and his wife noticed a piece of paper protruding from beneath the door. Clayton picked it up. It was a warning to refrain from reporting the loss of the revolvers, or from repeating what the old sailor had told them, on pain of death. Nor did they have long to wait, for the next morning, as Clayton was emerging on deck, a shot rang out, and then another and another. The crew had been able to muster but 6 firearms, so most of them were armed with boat-hooks, axes, hatchets, and crowbars. Short and grisly had been the work of the mutineers, and through it all John Clayton stood watching. Though outwardly calm, Clayton was inwardly apprehensive, for he feared for his wife's safety at the hands of these ignorant half-brutes. On the 5th day following the murder of the ship's officers, land was sighted. Black Michael, now leader of the mutineers, announced to Clayton that he and Lady Greystoke were to be put ashore with their belongings. Clayton remonstrated against the inhumanity of landing them upon an unknown shore, but his words were of no avail. Alone, he might hope to survive for years, for he was a strong, athletic man, but what of Alice, and that other little life, so soon to be launched amidst the hardships and grave dangers of a primeval world? Early next morning, their chests and boxes were hoisted on deck and lowered to small boats for transportation to shore. Black Michael was determined that nothing belonging to the Claytons should be left on board. So zealous was he in his efforts to carry out his intentions that he insisted upon the return of Clayton's revolvers to him. Into the small boats were also loaded salt meats and biscuit, with a small supply of potatoes and beans, matches, cooking vessels, a chest of tools, and the old sails. As the Fuwalda passed through the narrow entrance and out of sight, Lady Alice threw her arms about Clayton's neck and burst into uncontrollable sobs. Bravely she had faced the dangers of the mutiny. With heroic fortitude she had looked into the terrible future. But now that the horror of absolute solitude was upon them, her overwrought nerves gave way, and the reaction came. "Oh, John, what are we to do?" "We must work and wait. I'm sure that relief will come." "If it were only you and I, we could endure it, I know, but—" "Yes, dear, I have been thinking of that also. But hundreds of thousands of years ago our ancestors faced the same problems, possibly in these same primeval forests.